boxing myself a long time ago. I fought professionally, had a pretty good professional career.
Vonzell Johnson never became a household name, but the Louisiana fighter earned respect from everyone who faced him in the ring. Sources close to the former light heavyweight contender reveal he studied boxing history obsessively during his fighting career. His list of favorite boxers surprises fans because it features deep cuts and underrated warriors rather than obvious mainstream choices. Industry insiders claim Vonzell's selections expose the true student of boxing beneath his rugged fighting style. Trainers who worked with Johnson confirm he watched classic fights every night to understand technique and ring psychology. The New Orleans native reportedly borrowed moves from multiple eras while developing his own aggressive approach. His favorite fighters span from forgotten journeymen to legendary champions with one common thread connecting them all. These 10 boxers earned Vonzell's admiration through toughness, skill, and dedication to the craft. Let's count down who influenced the Louisiana Warrior and why each fighter mattered to his development. 10. Matthew Saad Muhammad. Matthew Saad Muhammad opens Vonzell's list as the light heavyweight warrior who defined toughness during the 1980s. The Philadelphia fighter's ability to survive devastating knockdowns and come back to win amazed Johnson during his amateur days. Sources say Vonzell watched Saad Muhammad's wars against Yaqui Lopez and Mustafa Hamsho repeatedly to understand championship hearts. The former lightweight, who moved up to dominate at 175 pounds, showed Vonzell that size doesn't determine fighting spirit. Vonzell met Saad Muhammad briefly in Atlantic City during the late 1990s. Boxing historians claim those conversations influenced Vonzell's own never-quit mentality in tough fights. The tragic downfall Saad Muhammad suffered after retirement taught Vonzell about protecting himself financially. The courage displayed in every fight resonated with Vonzell's own blue-collar approach to boxing. Vonzell stated Saad Muhammad represented what real fighters look like when everything is on the line. The light heavyweight proved that heart overcomes talent when warriors refuse to quit. 9. Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Dwight Muhammad Qawi earned Vonzell's respect as the undersized light heavyweight who beat bigger opponents through pure skill. The Camden Buzzsaw's transformation from convict to champion inspired Johnson during his own struggles in Louisiana. Sources claim Vonzell studied Qawi's victories over Saad Muhammad and Michael Spinks to understand how shorter fighters succeed against reach disadvantages. The relentless body attack Qawi perfected became a weapon Vonzell used throughout his career. Vonzell referenced Qawi frequently when discussing the importance of conditioning and constant pressure. Industry veterans say Qawi's ability to break down taller fighters influenced Vonzell's own inside fighting techniques. The prison redemption story resonated with Vonzell's troubled youth in New Orleans. Qawi's performance against Evander Holyfield showed Vonzell that courage matters more than physical advantages. Vonzell mentioned Qawi proved that determination and work ethic beat natural gifts when fighters maximize their strengths. The undersized champion demonstrated that pressure fighting breaks everyone eventually. 8. James Toney. James Toney sits at number 8 as the defensive genius who dominated multiple weight classes. Lights-out's shoulder roll and counterpunching mastery fascinated Vonzell despite their contrasting styles completely. Sources say Johnson watched Toney's middleweight and super middleweight performances to understand ring intelligence and timing. The Michigan fighter's ability to make elite opponents look ordinary through pure skill showed Vonzell what complete boxing looks like. Vonzell sparred with Toney briefly during a training camp in Las Vegas. Boxing insiders claim those sessions taught Vonzell about defensive responsibility and not getting hit unnecessarily. The versatility Toney displayed moving between weight divisions influenced Vonzell's own willingness to fight anyone. Toney's controversial personality and trash-talking showed Vonzell that confidence matters in prize fighting. Vonzell stated Toney was the slickest fighter he ever studied on film or faced in the gym. The multiple division champion proved that defensive mastery combined with power creates legendary careers. 7. Iran Barkley. Iran Barkley earns the 7th spot as the warrior whose toughness and punching power inspired Vonzell's own aggressive approach. The blade's ability to absorb punishment and deliver devastating counters amazed Johnson throughout his development. Sources claim Vonzell studied Barkley's upset victory over Thomas Hearns to understand how pressure fighters beat boxer punchers. The New York brawler's willingness to take 3 punches to land one resonated with Vonzell's own fighting mentality. Vonzell met Barkley several times at boxing events in New York during the early 2000s. Industry analysts say Barkley's career showed Vonzell the importance of seizing opportunities when they appear. The inconsistency Barkley displayed between brilliant victories and bad losses taught Vonzell about focus and preparation. Barkley's 3 world titles at middleweight and light heavyweight proved that true fighters always find ways to win. Vonzell mentioned Barkley represented old-school toughness that modern boxing was losing. The blade showed that warriors who refuse to back down eventually get their moments of glory. 6. Bobby C. Wise. Bobby Cheese takes the 6th position as the talented fighter whose career Vonzell studied for cautionary lessons. The New Jersey fighter's natural gifts and light heavyweight success showed what pure talent accomplishes in boxing. Sources say Johnson watched Ciz's performances to understand what happens when fighters don't maximize their potential. The cruiserweight champion's victories over Robert Daniels showed Vonzell that skill alone wins fights temporarily. Vonzell referenced Ciz when discussing the importance of dedication and avoiding distractions outside the gym. Boxing historians claim Ciz's lifestyle choices influenced Vonzell's own decision to stay focused on training. The squandered potential Ciz displayed resonated as a warning about wasting opportunities. Ciz's later commentary career showed Vonzell that boxing knowledge creates opportunities after fighting ends. Vonzell stated Ciz had more natural ability than most champions but never fulfilled his complete potential. The talented fighter proved that gifts without work ethic create regret rather than legendary status. 5. Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn sits at number 5 as the slick middleweight whose boxing skills captivated Vonzell during his formative years. The second to Nunn's smooth movement and precision punching represented textbook technique at its finest. Sources claim Johnson studied Nunn's victories over Iran Barkley and Sumbu Kalambe to understand defensive boxing combined with offensive efficiency. The Iowa fighter's ability to outbox pressure fighters influenced Vonzell's respect for pure boxing skill. Vonzell watched Nunn's career carefully, including the devastating knockout loss to James Toney. Industry insiders say Nunn's drug conviction and wasted prime taught Vonzell about making smart decisions outside the ring. The natural talent Nunn possessed showed Vonzell what complete fighters look like at their peak. Nunn's comeback attempts demonstrated the difficulty of recapturing lost greatness. Vonzell mentioned Nunn was proof that being gifted isn't enough without discipline and smart choices. The middleweight king showed that one mistake can destroy everything fighters work toward. 4. Mike McCallum. Mike McCallum earns the 4th spot as the body snatcher whose workmanlike approach Vonzell admired deeply. The Jamaican fighter's devastating body punching and consistent excellence fascinated Johnson throughout his career. Sources say Vonzell watched McCallum's performances against Milton McCrory and Donald Curry to study professional craftsmanship. The ability McCallum displayed breaking down opponents systematically became a template Vonzell followed. Vonzell met McCallum at a Las Vegas gym during the late 1990s. Boxing analysts claim McCallum's advice about body punching influenced Vonzell's own offensive arsenal significantly. The quiet professionalism McCallum brought to his career showed Vonzell that results speak louder than trash talk. McCallum's victories across 3 weight divisions prove that consistency and skill create championship reigns. Vonzell stated McCallum was the ultimate professional who treated boxing like serious business every single day. The body snatcher demonstrated that systematic pressure and body work break down any defense eventually. 3. Julian Jackson. Julian Jackson takes the 3rd position as the devastating puncher whose power Vonzell studied religiously. The Hawk's ability to end fights with single punches amazed Johnson during his own power development. Sources claim Vonzell watched Jackson's knockouts of Terry Norris and Inchul Bayek hundreds of times to understand timing and leverage. The Virgin Islands destroyer's right hand represented the ultimate equalizer against more skilled opponents. Vonzell referenced Jackson frequently when discussing how power changes everything in boxing regardless of other skills. Industry veterans say Jackson's chin problems taught Vonzell about defensive responsibility even for big punchers. The inconsistency Jackson displayed between spectacular knockouts and knockout losses showed Vonzell that defense matters as much as offense. Jackson's 2 middleweight title reigns proved that power always has a chance. 2. Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler sits at number 2 as the complete fighter who represented everything Vonzell aspired toward. The Marvelous One's dedication, skill, and warrior mentality created the blueprint Johnson followed throughout his career. Sources say Vonzell watched Hagler's middleweight wars to understand what championship excellence requires mentally and physically. The Bald Destroyer's ability to switch styles mid-fight showed Vonzell the importance of versatility. Vonzell studied Hagler's famous training camps and Spartan lifestyle when developing his own preparation routines. Boxing historians claim Hagler's southpaw dominance influenced how Vonzell approached fighting left-handed opponents. The controversial Leonard decision taught Vonzell about politics and judging in professional boxing. Hagler's refusal to fight again after that loss resonated with Vonzell's own understanding of pride. 1. Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns claims the top spot as Vonzell's ultimate boxing hero and stylistic inspiration. The hitman's devastating right hand and ability to end fights instantly captivated Johnson from childhood. Sources claim Vonzell modeled his entire approach after Hearns' seek and destroy mentality against opponents. The Detroit Legend's performances across multiple weight divisions showed Vonzell that versatility and power create legendary status. Vonzell met Hearns several times in Detroit and developed genuine respect for the Motor City icon. Industry insiders say Hearns encouraged Vonzell during difficult periods of his career personally. The courage Hearns displayed in wars against Hagler and Leonard taught Vonzell about fighting through adversity. Hearns' longevity competing into his 40s inspired Vonzell's own extended career. Vonzell's list celebrates warriors and technicians who shaped his fighting philosophy and career approach. Which underrated fighters deserve more recognition? Drop your hidden gems in comments and subscribe for more deep dive boxing content about forgotten legends.